Do you want something sophisticated yet sporty? I'm not talking about me. I'm not even sporty, am I? I'm talking about the new Audi A5. Though you could also consider the Mercedes C-Class Coupe. Or how about the new BMW? What have they done? Only joking. Yeah, the new BMW 4 Series complete with its controversial grille. Yeah, we're going to have a German coupe face-off. You probably wish that the BMW would take its face off.
Buying a new car? Then head to Carwow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. Carwow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
Let's talk money. So the Audi A5 starts from around £38,000. The Mercedes C-Class Coupe from around £40,000, and the 4 Series is also from around £40,000. But that's the list price, and I say list price, smish price. If you want to see how much you can save on any of these cars, you need to go to Carwow, right? And I've actually configured one of these cars, the exact cars that we have here. One of them, I got an offer back for a saving of £5,000. And if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can see exactly which car it is. It's quite a deal, really. The main reason for buying one of these cars is for the looks, and from the rear, this new 4 Series is pretty sweet. From the side, it's like a baby 8 Series, which is brilliant. Thing is though, all anyone can ever talk about is this new grille. So to me, it reminds me of Bugs Bunny's teeth.
What's up, Doc?
Jack the cameraman reckons it looks like a set of lungs. But what do you think? I'm sure you've got some kind of similarities to some weird thing that you think this grille looks like. Let me know in the comments below. Now, I wouldn't go to say that this is good looking. I don't think anyone thinks it's good looking, but I don't mind it. I actually quite like it. I think it's striking and interesting. And in that way, it sort of reminds me of Lady Gaga. She's not beautiful, but she's definitely hot. And really, with a coupe, you want people to look at you, whether it's for the right or the wrong reason. The Audi A5 is definitely a prettier car than the BMW 4 Series. And despite the fact it's got a much bigger grille than the BMW, it wears it better. It gets away with it. But there is a problem. You see, when it comes to traditional beauty, the Audi has nothing on this Mercedes. Just look at the rear 3/4. Oh, it makes me want to jizz. Can you edit this out? I can't say that. Yeah, make sure you do. I love the inside of this car as well, not only because I can get out the rain, thank God, it's because it's got a really nice, cool, sporty design. I especially love this centre console and the layout of it with these big vents, and the fact you can get this open pore wood. It's lovely jubbly. And the way the whole cockpit scoops around, it feels very, very sporty. Now, when you look around at some of the materials, it's as though beauty in places is only skin deep. Cubby spaces are good though. Look, big door bins, some cup holders under there. Lots of room under here. The Mercedes C-Class odd glove box opening, but it's still big enough. As part of a midlife update, Mercedes gave this car a new infotainment system and digital dials, and they're configurable. And I like the digital dials, very clear and easy to use. The infotainment system has a larger screen than before, though it's effectively the same system, and you can only control it using this swivel wheel and weird pad thing. It's not the latest Mercedes system where you have the touchscreen functionality, and it's just not as good as the latest system, so I feel a little bit like I'm missing out. Unlike Mercedes, when Audi updated the A5, it did decide to give the car its very latest infotainment system. So look, it's the new one there with the different tiles. It's all very easy to navigate. And it's a touchscreen now, though it does mean you no longer have the traditional Audi swivel wheel. Let's shed a tear for the Audi swivel wheel. You also get the classic Audi digital dials. They haven't really changed them much, but they don't need to because they're really, really functional, clear, easy to use. Not quite as colourful as the Mercedes, but still very lovely. It's a practical car inside as well, well, in the front at least, so decent sized door bins, a little bit of storage under there. Look, it's got wireless charging for your mobile phone. I'm charging my phone wirelessly now. That'll take about 10 hours. And then under here, yeah, a decent glove box and some cup holders. It's all very, very practical, really. Design-wise, it's just like a normal car. It doesn't feel sporty or coupe-like at all here in the front. However, quality is solid. It is a step up over the Mercedes. However, the car with the best interior build quality is the BMW 4 Series. All the materials just feel that little bit plusher and a bit tighter screwed together than even in the Audi. You know, I'm surprised. The only thing that's a bit annoying is this pattern down here. Sort of triggering my trypophobia. If you don't know what trypophobia is, it's a fear of naturally occurring patterns of holes, like these. Also, the speaker surround is doing it as well. Oh my God, I need to get out of this car. Got to finish this segment. Okay, something else that's better in the BMW is the infotainment system. So you've got BMW's latest iDrive, which lets you operate the screen by touching it, gesture controls. Yeah, swivel wheel, voice commands, touchpad, and the system is the best system out of these three cars. What I'm not so keen on though are the digital dials. They're big, they do display quite a decent amount of information. It's just a bit dark and I don't like the rear winding rev counter. If rev counters wind, you get the idea. Just not quite as good as in the Audi or the Mercedes. Cubby spaces are decent though, while it's charging down there. Some space under here. Big door bins, the biggest door bins here. And a decent sized glove box. It is actually the most practical out of all the cars, and design wise it feels very sporty here in the front. Maybe not quite as much as in the Mercedes, but definitely more so than in the Audi. You don't buy a BMW 4 Series to act as a taxi, but occasionally you may want to give your friends or family a lift in the back. So what's it like? Do you know what? Knee room is actually really good. Headroom though, because of the sloping roof line, is tight. If I sit up straight, my head is touching the roof, though if I slouch I can just about get away with it. It's not terrible. It does feel quite dark back here though, because the back windows are quite small. If you want to carry babies, the ISOFIX anchor points for baby seats are very easy to get to. In fact, this is the kind of car you might have before your babies get too big and you have to have something more practical and boring. And it does work with a child. So even those big rear-facing seats, they're quite easy to get through the door, even though it hasn't got any back doors. And there's enough space in the back here that you don't have to get the front passenger to move their seat forward to accommodate the child seat behind them. Fitting a bulky child seat in the back of the A5 isn't quite as easy as in the BMW because the doors don't open quite as wide. Also, there's not as much room back here to manoeuvre the seat, and you do have to move the front passenger seat a bit forward to fit in one of those big rear-facing seats. Plus, luckily, the ISOFIX anchor points are covered by flip-off covers, which you'll lose like that. So that's a bit annoying. Also, for adults here in the back, it just feels a little bit tighter still than the BMW. Knee room isn't as good. Headroom's very similar. It is just a bit cramped feeling. At least the rear windows are bigger than in the 4 Series, so it does feel a bit lighter back here. But overall, if I had to pick one of them, I'd choose the BMW to travel in the back of rather than this. The Mercedes is the worst car to be in the back of though. This is not good. Tightest for knee room, tightest for headroom, really dark and dingy. Horrible. Also, it's a real pain trying to fit a big child seat back here. It's such a faff. This is the one that's most like a coupe in the way that, that's the seatbelt butler, in the way that it's all about the front passengers and the driving experience and nothing to do with practicality. The Mercedes is also... Yeah, I could have been a gymnast. That was an elegant dismount, wasn't it? As I was saying, the Mercedes is the least good at carrying luggage as it is people. So the boot capacity is 380 litres. You can fit 6 airplane-style carry-on luggage cases in the boot of this car. Next is the BMW, so its boot capacity is 440 litres, and you can carry 7 carry-on cases in the boot of this car. Moving to the very best though, is the Audi A5. So its capacity is 455 litres, and as with the BMW, you can fit 7 carry-on size luggage cases in there, but there is a bit of extra space left over. And this and all the other cars here actually have fold-down rear seats, which split 3 ways if you need to carry longer items, though really if it's practicality you're after, you're going to be better off with one of these cars 4-door cousins. So the A4, the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes C-Class Saloon. And if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can watch my group test video of those cars, where I also chuck in an Alfa Romeo Giulia and a Volvo S60 into the mix. So go check that out. The A5 is available with quite a wide range of engine choices. So there are 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder petrol and diesel versions. Most cars are front-wheel drive, but some are all-wheel drive. They are all automatic. Moving on to the Mercedes, it's a very similar story. You get 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder petrol and diesel engines. Most cars are rear-wheel drive. In fact, only one, the 300D, is all-wheel drive. But you can get an extra engine on top, a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 in the AMG 63 model. Regardless of which version of the C-Class Coupe you go for, they're all automatic. So are the 4 Series, every single one of them. Now, it's either rear-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. There's quite a varied choice for that. And engines, as with the Audi, you've got 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder diesel or petrol engines. Now, if you want to compare all the stats of each of these models' engines, gearbox combinations, and drive systems, click on the pop-out banner up there to go to Carwow, because I've done a big comparison table for you. It's really useful. But if you can't be bothered to geek out just now, I'll just summarise by saying I think that the BMW has the best engines and gearbox combination, followed by the Mercedes, and finally the Audi. Though it's all so close, it's probably not going to be the thing that sways you overall which car to go for. Finally then, let's see what these cars are like to drive. And I'm going to start with the A5. So it's based on the A4, yet it's got stiffer suspension, which gives it a more sporty feeling edge. The downside of that is that when you go over bumps, especially when you're going slower like in town, you do notice them more than in the normal A4. It's not bad though, you can live with it, and the rest of the experience, like the steering and everything, is nice and light. It's just pretty much as easy to drive as the A4. The visibility, that's all right for a coupe, and when you get out onto a twisty road like this, it does a good job. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the most sporty feeling car, but it grips onto the road, it stays flat through the bends, the engine's responsive, so is the gearbox, and it goes as quick as you're ever going to need a car to go. One thing you do notice though, when it's slippy like it is today, is that if you put your foot down a little bit too soon when you're coming out of a corner, if you just got the front wheel drive model, it just scrabbles for grip. It's a bit like a cat on a tiled floor, you know, just scrabbling away. But with the Quattro all-wheel drive versions, it can actually send power to the back wheels to help push you out of the turn, so you don't get that effect. But really, unless you're driving quickly on a rainy day, you don't really need the four-wheel drive version. It's actually a very easy car to live with day to day, especially for one that looks so lovely and sporty on the outside. Jumping out of the Audi and into this Mercedes is quite interesting. So it feels a bit more like a sporty car in the way that there's less visibility, so the view out the back isn't great, and there's less glass area here, and you sit lower. That's what you want really out of a coupe. It's a good thing. Surprisingly, the suspension does feel softer than the Audi, so it's a bit better over bumps, yet you get more feel through the steering. It's still light, so it's easy to just drive around town, but it's easy to tell in this car how much grip your front wheels have got. So that's good when you're on a twisty road and you want to have some fun. Also, I do think it just corners a little bit better. It doesn't stay quite as flat as the Audi, but it's still relatively composed. Plus, because it's rear wheel drive rather than front wheel drive, when you're coming out of a corner, you get that sensation of being pushed along like you get from a normal sports car. So it does all just add to the experience. Do you know what? I prefer driving this than the Audi. It's a little bit more comfortable, yet a little bit more fun. So, win-win. Finally then, we come to the BMW. Now, can you just give me a few seconds while I check something? Yeah. It doesn't take long to be able to tell that this is the most fun of the three cars to drive. Like with the Mercedes, it's rear-wheel drive, this version. So you get that lovely sensation of being pushed to the turns, like you do in a proper sports car. But it feels even more darty and engaging than the Mercedes, yet it's pretty much just as comfortable. This is the best one to daily drive. And when you're driving in town, the visibility is pretty much the same as the Audi, so it's not too difficult to live with when you're just pottering about either. I'm impressed with this car. I do like it. I reckon if you actively get pleasure from driving cars, this is the one you're going to want. So then, what's my final verdict? Well, both the A5 and the C-Class Coupe are traditionally good looking and decent cars. But for me, the winner is the BMW 4 Series because it is the sportiest to drive, it is packed full of the latest technology, and whether you like the look of it or not, it sure as hell turns heads. And being seen is what driving a coupe is all about. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Also, let me know of any other videos you'd like to see in the comments below. If you want to watch more videos, click on those windows there, and if you click on the box there, you can go to Carwow to see how much me and my team can help you save on a new car. Go check it out, it's free. Thanks for watching.